Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or your regional equivalent, and welcome to Vectored Armada. So, I took about 2 months, and I guess a little bit extra. And in my off time, when I'm not working on Nile at the Spawns or my main job, I'm putting together a little Reassembly-Clone, or an assembly-like, if you will. It's called Vectored Armada. It's in kind of like an alpha stage, I guess. I've been building this with some help with some feedback, balance feedback, some design feedback, with the kind of reassembly community, people like Mons, Debris, everyone else, Jim, you name them, they're in there. They've been talking and giving me opinions and feedback, and Owl and everyone else. Alex. So, I think this has gone to a really nice point and a really nice place at this point. We've got kind of auto P working, and we've got some hand-fiddled cost values. You can build ships and all sorts of things. So let's go to the fleet. Okay, so first of all, I want to preface this. This reassembly-like is not trying to be reassembly. Okay, reassembly was built over like 4 years. Arthur Danskin made his own engine. The thing runs really well. It handles all these like physics and blah blah blah, and it's exceptional, right? I've made this in like 2 months, and I cannot hope to match Arthur's performance short of making my own engine, or something like that, right? I don't want to do that. This wasn't supposed to take that long, and I didn't want to have to put that much effort into it. Okay, so Vectored Armada is here to be a fleet fighter. It is kind of an answer to the one thing Reassembly doesn't do well, which is fleet fights. Now, of course, it has tournaments. You can put fleets together in tournament. You can fight them together. It's great, sure, but it's not designed around that solely. It also has kind of single-player considerations, campaign, etc. Whereas this, pardon me, doesn't have to worry about those things. Vectored Armada, for instance, doesn't actually have reassembling. If a ship loses parts, it doesn't regen or repair itself, which is part of the whole like fleet battle feel of like big ships with permanent damage and needing to properly design a fleet for it to function. So here is the Silentor. It's a little ship I built, well, a big ship I built. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of different parts that Reassembly doesn't have, because I've made my own nonsense and my own stuff. But of course, we have the bog standard normal things. We can go to hull and grab ourselves a square. And look, we have a square. Amazing. Bunch of pieces and things. We have a whole bunch of different commands: socket, cabin, bridge, watcher, node, core, thinker. Why is the thinker weird? Also, it's generating too much power. This one as well. Actually, no, it's like quite a big thing. 100 is fine. Anyway, sorry, I'm just thinking about balance. But yeah, no, so it works literally just like Reassembly. You have blocks, you have a command center, you can stick it on. You can put blocks on the thing and build it. You can go to utilities, got a bunch of thrusters, you can put thrusters down. The ship can use the thrusters for navigation, rotation, general movement. So if we go like this, grab this little ship, make a copy of it. We can go into command mode. We can click. Oh no, it's sorry, combat is a bit automated at the moment. Everything is on a certain team. Let's make this copy, make it on the same team, and now I can fly it around, and these aren't going to shoot each other. Could you all not please come to this position? You killed it. It's already dead. Leave it alone. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, we've got, it can rotate, it can counter its rotation a bit, it can fly forwards, it can correct for lateral motion. As well, the one thing that Reassembly unfortunately can't offer you is configuration per ship on how it uses its kind of thruster brain. So this is Cluster 612. We can call it Nibbly. Why not? And we can configure whether or not it only thrusts when it's pointing towards its move target, whether it does inertial correction, angular rotation, and attempts to correct for velocity, all sorts of neat little things. So for instance, we can turn off this and this. And now, if I click backwards... Actually, let's turn off rotation as well. Let's just turn off everything. Turn off everything. And now if I click behind it, it can now fly backwards with these two little reverse thrusters. Which is quite fun. And probably correct itself. Yeah, it's doing okay. It's doing okay, even with all of its proper controls turned off. Yeah, so yeah, we've got a nice little physics system, little cluster-based physics system. Things are breakable. Break things into pieces. Ooh, why is my selection box so weird? Can I update it? Update? Hello? Okay, I'm not going to question it. Well, the selection box is an approximation. But yeah, so we can build a bunch of ships. We can load ships. So if you go... Where's Nibbly? I've now lost him. Wow. I'm blind. There he is. Hi, Nibbly. Come here. Cluster 612. Okay, let's... if I go to this, we can go... Nibbly. We can save Nibbly. Alright, Nibbly saved. Now we can go to load. And we have built-in ships, so kind of... these are the ships that ship in the game. Local ships, so these are your ships, such as in the local ship file. If I bring this over, you can see I've got a whole bunch of ships here. As well as a foreign ship file, where you can put stuff that you don't want to mess up, for instance. So Nibbly is here. We can either load more of him or delete him. I won't delete him. Okay, cool. You can press numbers to set them to different teams, and then they'll kind of all go do random nonsense. And then the big hulking mega ships with their missile launchers will shoot their missiles. Blam, blam, blam. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different weapons in this. We got kind of... Well, a whole bunch. I guess there's a relatively simple assortment, but for me, it's a whole bunch of weapons because I had to make them. We got a little light dual cannon, heavy tri-cannon. We got some drone bays, which launch ships you might recognize from Annihilate the Spots, because I just grabbed their model files and put them in, so we just have drones, which is pretty funny. Here, let me put a bridge on this and make this team too. There we go. Got a little Tolly, Gorsork, and a Gladiator, and they've got little guns on them. They'll go off and shoot things. And they'll come over here and attack this ship. The targeting isn't... no, he's getting his shots on. That's good. Well done, Tolly. Get him! Come on! Yes, Tolly! Woo, we got him. And then he despawned because he didn't have a target anymore. Whatever. Nibblies, what are you doing? Just chill out. Chill out. Just be calm. Be calm. Yeah. So you got that. We've got a whole bunch of, like... There's a whole bunch of people that have made different ships. So far, we've got a whole bunch of very, very cool ships. And some ships that slightly break the game in order to be very fun. So this is a ship from Tio Ultica. He basically abused the way my ship save files work to make a ship that splits into many ships, which is wonderful. I love it. Test Swarm 2. They've all got little guns on them. They're all going to spin around and assault good old the Silentor, which all of its guns got independent targeting. So turrets in this have independent targeting. Turrets in this can actually see other modules. They don't just see the ship. So, okay, in normal reassembly, a ship and its guns only see a ship and its core. It doesn't see the other guns on a ship. Whereas here, all of the guns can see the other guns and the other blocks and can actually decide to shoot either other guns or whatever. Yeah, let's give red team some help. Well, actually, that was green team. Let's give him a sovereign star. This is from Jimmy. By the way, I have the soundtrack for Annihilate the Spawns playing. Because I can. Because I paid for it. So I get to use it in my... Well, Peak Sound also made this music. So yeah, I get to use it for my little weird Reassembly-Clone. So Sovereign Star, we can see, you can see the stats of a ship as it's ripped to pieces. You can watch its health get absolutely obliterated. Energy, battery. So Vector Armada has a couple of different balance considerations to reassembly. Number one, gun ranges are much higher, generally speaking. This is quite a significant difference between the shortest range gun and their longest range gun. So this heavy tri-cannon has 100 range, whereas the light dual cannon has 30 range. So it's like double and a bit for a heavier gun. Now the costs, well, 75 awesomeness and 439 awesomeness. So rather than P, or power, as it was called in Reassembly, blocks cost awesomeness in Vector Armada, which I think is fun. We've also got a bunch of different blocks that aren't really possible in Reassembly, such as the square bridge, a bunch of blocks that break Arthur's convex shape convention, which was a good convention and had its reasons to be there. I've just thrown caution to the wind and done my own nonsense because I'm not. This rendering is not built in the same way that Arthur's rendering is handled, and also I don't have to do a lot of the same things he has to do. So yeah, we got reactors, we got vault cells. So Vector Armada has a bigger focus on reactors, well, energy generation versus energy storage. So energy and battery. So reactors are very expensive, but storage is relatively cheap for how much energy you can store. So generally speaking, it's more efficient to have a few reactors pumping a bunch of batteries full and then to rely on your battery stores to see you through a fight than to have enough generation to kind of see all of your things. And that's fun. It means you kind of have to design around a conceptualized engagement time, or maybe you want to take the trade-off and go for only batteries or something insane, you know? It's like a ship with only batteries. Or a ship that is, only reactors. You'd have basically no storage and you're kind of living life by the seat of your pants. And those are all interesting ways to kind of play. As you can see, a reactor gives you 600 energy per second, but only 120 energy battery, which means you can only store about 1/5, exactly 1/5 of the amount of energy that you generate. So if you don't have enough batteries, you're just wasting power, which is kind of fun. It means you need to design your ships with a bit more in mind. Also, normal blocks cost awesomeness. Every normal block has a cost, based exactly on their health, so per 100 health, 1 awesomeness. And this cost is on every single block. Even the bridge is being priced according to its health. Even the reactor has a price according to its health. So there really aren't any blocks where you can kind of be like, I'm cheating health out of the system, I guess. Not that I really care if you were. Those things would be designed around. There is an armor plate here, which is kind of designed to have a higher than normal health and a higher than normal mass. But the trade-off here is just that, well, the benefit here is that it's very compact. Now, speaking of compact, the one thing that makes this a terrible idea in normal reassembly is missile AoE. So missile AoE in reassembly is just a big sphere explosion, and everything it hits within the sphere takes damage. But in Vector Armada, I have shrapnel missiles, and shrapnel missiles are a bit weird. So if they hit, there we go, they make a literal ring of shrapnel, which spreads out quickly, hits everything, and can only do as much damage as the missile was designed to do. So these missiles do, I think, like 125? They do 125 explosion damage, so they do 125 divided by 30, whatever that is. Because they have 30 shrapnel shards, they do 125 divided by 30 per shrapnel shard. And with a 270-degree shrapnel spread. And a 2.5 explosion radius just means that the shrapnel lives for like 2.5 distance, which is fun. And this is a lot more, let's say, balanced. It's definitely a lot more balanced than Reassembly when it comes to small blocks. Reassembly does not like small blocks in a competitive environment. If you're like playing tournaments or you're trying to make ships that are really good, you never build them out of small blocks because they're just objectively terrible. Because AoE can break so many of them so easily, whereas one big block basically takes less damage, whereas a bunch of smaller blocks take way more damage, like in total. But Shrapnel solves that problem, because Shrapnel, there's only so much Shrapnel. It can only damage what it hits, and it can only damage so much, because they only have so much damage to provide, which is nice. Missiles are also a tiny bit weird in Vector Armada, because they have a health, which is also their, like, impact damage. So a missile with 50 health is like a bullet with 50 health. Like a bullet with 50 damage, you can think. So it can hit something, and it'll deal 50 damage to that block. But the counterpoint is that if something hits it, like another missile or a bullet, it'll take away that health. And so, if you have two missiles collide, the one with higher health will keep going. It's a way for me to solve, like, missile collisions. Because Reassembly has the problem that if two missiles hit each other, it doesn't matter what their health is. It doesn't matter if one's a nuke and the other is a tiny little dumbfire missile. They'll both go and just explode. Which is kind of a bit sad. So in this way, missiles are a lot tougher in Vector Armada. Which also is very useful because they aren't as extremely powerful as in Reassembly. My little shrapnel missiles. Boom! And then it destroyed the last block. There was no more target and they all despawned. That's just a temporary measure. They're not supposed to despawn, of course. Dueling Cruiser. Let's put you over here. This is Jim's ship. Let's make a bunch of them. Let's make them red, and let's send them to attack the enemy. There's not really any good point defense at the moment. I think the Asylenter is about to explode. Yeah, it's getting nice. Those are some solid missile hits on the core right there. Oh, it's so close. Oh, core's gone. Still two of these are alive. But there's one of them. I don't think this ship has enough battery and generate, does it? No, it doesn't. 135 damage per second. So in Vector Armada, the amount of energy that a weapon uses is exactly equal to its damage. Its damage, I think, plus range plus velocity, something like that. It's like a little bit of it's a little calculation. It's not exact. It's not perfected yet. It's just like I'm throwing numbers at the wall to get some nice usage numbers. So 135 damage per second, and energy per second means that you need like 135, and then, well, there was another one, so it's like 300 and... Is that 400? I think that's 400. Energy generation. 405 energy generation? I think I skipped a 10 there somewhere, whatever. So you need enough energy generation to sustain your DPS. You're literally making reactors for DPS. And energy generation costs awesomeness. So one energy is one awesomeness, and one damage also costs one awesomeness. So you pay exactly for everything in awesomeness. So if you get a reactor and, say, a little gun. So this is currently 180 awesomeness in total. This gun uses 20 energy per second, so you could have 5 of them on one reactor. Reactor can only store 20, so it's not going to actually work out that well unless you give it, like, a volt cell. There you go, give it some battery. Well, you can give it the smaller ones. Just 2 smaller ones, and I'm pretty sure that's perfect. You got 120 battery for 5 guns will be perfect. That is a self-sustaining scenario. And yeah, so this is 501 awesomeness. Bang. That's on the dot. Going towards the energy, the DPS, and everything, which is nice. Yeah, so I think neat way of balancing things. I'm sure Reassembly is probably about the same, but anyway. So high core. Oh, poor dueling cruiser. It's getting bullied. Yeah, so as you can see, much longer engagement ranges. Guns can shoot very far. These tri-cannons don't shoot very quickly, but they've got like a little 3-bullet clip. Sorry, I should turn off constructor mode. And yeah, there you go. Look at all the nonsense everywhere. Also, if you want to turn off cluster physics. Oh wait, that doesn't. Oh right, that doesn't cancel out velocity. Okay, let's grab this. Put this here. So you can turn off cluster physics. So in Reassembly, if you were to like pop a block off and like just put it here, everything would go flying everywhere. But here I give you the option to just turn off physics while you're building the things, which is quite useful sometimes. Especially if you've got things that are kind of maybe a little bit weirdly placed or something. But yeah, so you can rotate things. Pretty much all the normal reassembly stuff is here. You can flip blocks. Of course, you can hold Alt to copy everything. R deletes, blah, blah, blah. You can't flip whole selections yet. I need to make that happen. I'm sorry. But I'll get there eventually. So yeah, that's I think basically everything there is to show at the moment, which is nice. Quite a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a hell of a lot of work for 2 months. Like, or 3 months? I don't know. I don't work on it all the time. It's probably closer to like 2 weeks of like solid work. So, it'd be like 1.5. I don't know. Anyway, point is, I haven't spent that long on it, so I'm sorry if things are terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. There's not a whole lot I can do. Oh, my dogs are making a stink. That's amazing. That's awful. Okay. So, which little dog. Okay. So, Vector Armada. What's the game plan? So this is a fleet fighter, like I said. So the goal is to get Skirmish running. Skirmish is tournament. I could just rename it to tournament. It's fine. But tournament, so the players can fight each other, right? So you can, battle your fleets against one another, configure your AIs, do all that stuff. I need better ship fighting AI. They currently just fly into one another. So it's not that interesting, really. I mean, it is still interesting. They will fight each other properly, but yeah, they just kind of fly into one another at the moment. There's no intelligent pathing. I can't promise that. I can't promise I'll ever get intelligent pathing there. Like, Reassembly can get the ships to fly around like these husks and things. I don't know if I'll... I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so... Yeah, so skirmish soon, and then a war mode. And war is basically just a lot of fleet challenges. So a bunch of fleets that I make, or that players make, whatever, and they're all just challenge fleets. So you're given like an awesomeness budget, a ship, kind of a minimum or a maximum amount of ships that you have to make, and then you have to go beat the challenge. So, you might have a challenge that's like build one Titan ship to fight a fleet of 50 smaller ships, something like that. Or... build 3 ships to fight an enemy team of 3 ships. You have the exact same cost. Go. It's like, I don't know. Or maybe you some kind of gimmick. You can only use this kind of weapon or whatever other nonsense. I don't know. Look, I'm spitballing dumb ideas, but that's the point of like war mode, is challenge fleet fights, but a single player content. And then I think this game is basically ready because. The point was not to work on this for like a year. The point was to work on this for like half a year and be done. So yeah, that's Vector Armada. If you have suggestions you'd like to make, come over to the Reassembly Discord. The Reassembly Discord server. I'll link it in the description. If I remember to, I probably forgot. Oh well. But yeah, and you can come to the Vector Armada channel and give me your feedback, whatever you want. Yeah. I read everything. So, there you go. Okay, I think that's good. So, until next time, everybody. Ratbat. Let me get a Ratbat. Ratbat. Many Ratbat. Many Ratbat. Wait, pause. Spacebar. Hello? Why are you dead? Oh, cluster physics is off. I turned off cluster physics and they couldn't fly. Poor little rat bats. Oh, I don't think they have enough energy generation for their guns. No, they do. They should. Why aren't they shooting? That's weird. Wait, hang on. Sorry, I need to debug. Wait, we put this team 1, select it, make it team 2. You gonna shoot? Or are you just gonna get murdered way long before you get there? What's it not shooting? That's so weird. Oh well, it's bizarre. I haven't seen that before. That's a novel bug. Not sure why it's calling that. Anyway, until next time, everybody. Cheerio.